Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to greet all of you with this very important and interesting forum. To thank the hosts, the organizers of the event, also the chief guests. Indeed, we are in a very complicated and complex situation, and climate and energy as a joint approach has a very different meaning, especially with regard to security. Until recently, the climate crisis and energy stability were counter. But now we see that this war imposes on us the need to find mutual approach to achieve both climate neutrality and energy security. What is the European Union correct in deciding on natural gas as a transitional fuel? I was critical about this decision, and I continue to uphold my opinion, because now we see that natural gas as a whole and fossil fuels in general they come from countries with authoritative and dictatorships, and they create instability and insecurity, and sometimes lead to aggression, as we see Russian aggression against Ukraine. Fortunately, the solutions are, how to say, not controversial. We would have been very worried if Russia produced solar panels, wind turbines, or e-vehicles. But Russia only produces fossil fuels. And what at the moment the European Union is trying to do with its Repower EU strategy by the middle of 2022 has two main basic points. Which are focused on reducing the dependence of the European Union on Russian fossil fuels. First of all, diversification of energy supplies, and we heard a lot about this during the presentation. And secondly, reducing the dependency on Russian fossil fuels by doubling the capacity of renewables by 2015 and tripling the capacity of renewables by 230. In Bulgaria, we know that the global challenges also concern us greatly. We are part of the European Union, and we are in solidarity with the European Union, and this is exceptionally important to safeguard that we would not be dropped off board. This is also related to our NATO membership in order to secure our security. Bulgaria also has some advantages in this situation. One is that we still have a very low level of gasification of households, only 2-3%. This allows us to move faster beyond gas as a transitional fuel and to seek for other decentralized solutions to meet household needs and demands based on renewables. Especially, this approach is applicable for the generation where we have demand with small power plants related to solar energy. The other advantage is that Bulgaria is very rich in resources, renewable resources, not only solar energy, but biomass, geothermal energy, and also wind potential, which some of them we have not developed at all. The Center for Studies of Democracy, they have focused on the unused potential of the Black Sea energy. What is important for Bulgaria as well? We also generate and produce most of these very key sources, metals like zinc and other useful raw materials. And this allows us to have a high level of security and stability. At the same time, I would like to share with you some important figures. As a whole, Bulgaria is among the countries which are global leaders with respect to reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, with reference year 1998. And some of the non-competitive manufacturing facilities were closed. We managed to reduce between 40 to 48% to lower these GHG emissions. This is a gradual reduction of emissions, and mostly in the transport sector, where the reduction is above 40% compared to the base year. Also, the energy sector contributes greatly thanks to the lignite coal that is used in the thermal power plants. They account for 58% of total emissions, followed by transport with 26% of emissions and industry with 11% of emissions. In the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, we included reforms and technologies to enhance our energy stability using different technologies and mechanisms. For example, we are committed as part of the reform of the decarbonization of the energy sector to reduce by 40% the emissions from coal emissions by 2026, and 3 megawatts of new capacities, mainly solar capacities, and to focus on industrial degraded territories. And this is our greatest potential for the introduction of large renewables capacities on these recultivated areas and territories which are close to the grid, electricity grid, and they are state property, and this allows very fast concessioning or other forms of public-private cooperation. Also, we have to develop hydrogen technologies because the users of electricity, they need large capacities, and hydrogen can be such an opportunity for energy storage for industrial purposes. We are also analyzing the potential of geothermal energy, and in the National Recovery and Resilience plans, we would fund 2 large pilot projects for geothermal energy. Also, we would study the entire potential of Bulgaria because adjacent to us territories have very great geothermal potential. We are also have a plan to build more than 10,000 charging stations, also for capture and storage of carbon dioxide, to afforest large territories of the country, more than 10 million trees to be planted to recover wetlands, other territories which are also areas that capture emissions. And all these are possible solutions. And last but not least, I would like to share with you that we are also looking for opportunities to create a national financial instrument that would be filled with revenues from sale of emissions that can co-finance large projects for decarbonization and energy transition. I would like also to mention that Bulgaria is considerably upgrading its activities regarding to energy diplomacy, proposing different types of solutions, and our great goal is by 2024, when there will be a global event, summit meeting, UN summit meeting on climate. And we hope that this would be hosted in Eastern Europe, and Bulgaria would apply to host this summit event in 2024 here in Bulgaria. Thank you very much for your attention.